Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope all of you are fine and doing well along with your family members. Now, today, here we are going to start with first chapter under geography, that is resources. Now, I know all of you are knowing what are resources, but every year we have some type of upgradation which makes the chapter more interesting. So now let us get started. What are resources? So all the things that satisfies the needs, that has got some use or usability and also some value or worth are called resources. Say for example, I am thirsty. I will need some water. So then water becomes my resource. Why? Because water is satisfying my need. Water has got some use also, that is, I am using the water to drink, and it has also got some value or worth. In fact, water is the most valued resource on the earth. So water is satisfying all the three conditions. So water becomes my resource. Now likewise, say for example, I want to come to school. So I am using my two-wheeler. So then two-wheeler becomes my resource. Or say for example, I am very hungry. I want to have some food. So then food becomes my resource. If I am feeling very hot, I'll turn on the fan or say AC. Then fan or AC becomes my resource. So all are these things what? All the things are resources. All these things are satisfying all my needs, so they become the part of resources. So the things that satisfies the needs, that has got some use and also some value or worth are known as resources. So now we will move to types of resources. So what are the different types of resources? There are three different types of resources: natural resources, human resources and human-made resources. Now what do we have under natural resources? All those resources which have been made by God, which have been created by God or gifted by the nature to us, to human beings, are called natural resources. Say for example, mountains, rivers, valleys, all of it are what? All of it are natural resources. Why? Because man has not created them, but they have been gifted by God. So all this become the part of natural resources. Now say for example, trees or plants. Trees or plants are also the part of natural resources. Why? Because man is depending upon the trees or plants for their needs. Now how are men depending on the plants or trees for their needs? Why? Because trees release oxygen, which is necessary for our survival, and we release carbon dioxide, which is necessary for their survival. So this becomes the two-way process through which trees also depend on us and we also depend on trees. So that becomes the part of natural resources. Now the next which we have is human resources. What are human resources? We, the people, become the part of human resources. Now say for example, I am teaching in Sunflower School. So now I am a teacher. So I become the resource for the Sunflower School. Likewise, say you are studying in Sunflower School. Now you become the resource for the school. Why? All the students are the resources. All the teachers are the resources. Not just resources. We both, that is teachers and students, both of them are resources, but human resources. Why? Because we all are human beings and thus we become the human resources of the school. That is, we, the people, become the human resource. Now, what are actually human resources? We all are human beings, but we all have different capacities, different efficiencies, different skills. So we all are using it at our best. So that is called human resources. Now say for example, India is having such a huge population, but all of us are not same. We all are different. If I am good at something, I am also bad at something. So that is both the ways. So this is how human resources are actually there which try their best to give their maximum performance to any such places where they are actually working. Now I am working over here, I will give my best to this school. Say for example, you are studying in this school, you are also giving best to this school. So like this we become the part of human resources. Now we judge you, that is we evaluate you on the basis of your performance, on the basis of your written exam or your classroom behavior or things like that. So this is how we evaluate you on the basis of your performance. So like this, human resources are evaluated, they are judged, and they are given scores according to their tasks or according to their roles and responsibilities. So this was about human resources. The third which we have is human made resources. All those resources which have been created by men, which have been made by humans, are called human made resources. These are the resources which are not gifted by God or which are not gifted by nature, but these are the resources which have been created by men, and so they are called human made resources, or another name is man made resources. Human made resources or man made resources. So what are these resources? All the resources that have been made by men are called human made resources or man made resources. Now say for example, buildings, parks, monuments, roads, all these are what? All of these have been created by men, so they become the part of human made resources or man made resources. So the things in which there is no interference of nature but they are themselves created by the men are called human made resources. Now we will quickly have a recap of all those things which we have studied today. So firstly we have studied resources and then 3 different types of resources. So what are resources? Anything that satisfies our need, has got some use or utility, and has also got some value or worth are called as resources. Like I gave the example of water. If I am thirsty, I will need some water, so then water becomes my resource. So this was about resources. Now again 3 different types of resources. Natural resources, those resources which have been gifted by God, which have been made by the nature, are called natural resources. For example, we have mountains, rivers, valleys. All these are what? All these are part of natural resources. Why? Because they have been created, they have been made by the nature. So they are natural resources. Second we had is human resources, that is we the people. Say for example, we the teachers or the students, both of us become the part of human resources. So that was about human resources, where we judge or we evaluate students on the basis of their performance, their written exams, classroom behavior, all of it. So that is the part of human resource. Third we had is human made resources. What are human made resources? All those resources which have been created by men, which have been actually made by men without any interference of the nature, are called human made resources or man made resources. Say for example, buildings. Contractors are building it, builders are building it, engineers. So many people are engaged in doing such activities. So buildings become the part of human made resources. Roads, parks, different monuments like Taj Mahal, Red Fort, all of it are what? All of that have been created by men, so they become the part of man-made resources. So in all we have studied this much for today, that is resources and types of resources. So that was it for today. I hope all of you have very clearly understood these concepts. Thank you and have a nice day.